Italy, the USA and Germany are the three entries. A lot of other nations are keeping their powder dry. There are the Italians, and in the stroke seats, Guglielmo Melgiari from Genoa. A little coxswain, Alessandro Raffaello from Torino. There's the USA, Kathleen Kainas in the stroke seat. Originally a Stanford Cardinal, Stanford, one of the top female rowing universities. And some of these men in the German 8 will figure in the final of the men's 8s tomorrow, as will some of the women. But it's a mixture of rowers and scullers. Frauke Hundeling is in this German 8, and Hundeling is in the German quadruple scull. So she's doing quadruple scull and rowing in this regatta, and I think it's great for these federations to come into the mixed 8 here.
Yeah, it is an exciting departure, an exciting way forward really for world rowing.
Italy, United States of America, Germany, attention.
A first, the world at a World Cup race. The mixed 8s get smoothly off the start. Germans winding their way into it slowly, I would say.
Yeah, the Italians have gone off like a rocket, haven't they? So this mixed 8 is made for athletes already entered in another World Cup event, which is their primary event. This is a secondary event. They may have an additional cox, or they may use a cox that's entered. It won't be part of the official World Rowing Cup programme and won't count towards World Cup points. So there we go. USA blasting off there. The Germans were very conservative. Why do you think they were so conservative on those first few strokes?
Yeah, good question. I'm imagining it's because they haven't practiced that much in this combination, so they were slow and steady. Let's not make a mistake early on. You can not win the race in the first 10 strokes, but you could lose it if you did something wrong. So the German 8 eased their way in. They're still underrating the rest of the field.
There we see Alessandro Faella from Torino. But it's a great race, isn't it, between the Americans and the Germans. Frauke Hundeling is stroking the German boat, which is an interesting move for the 29-year-old. She is a policewoman, was a spare for the Olympics team, and sculling here. It just shows you the adaptability of these athletes. Let's get a look as we go down. There's Frauke there, and Florian Koch, the 24-year-old coxswain of the German 8. The Americans, Greg, have already won a mixed 8 in the Pan Am Games. I think probably 2023 or something like that. And in the Pan Ams, they came down in a 5:54. I think they beat the Chileans, if memory serves. So this USA, entered by their chief coach, Jerzy Wodonczak, and you know, he's interested in, I think it's fun and enjoyment, isn't it? These male and female athletes get together, do a bit of training. It's new, it's interesting.
Well, certainly we see it in sports like track and field and swimming, don't we? That at the end of the event they have a relay, and that relay could be a mixed one, a triathlon as well. So that, yeah, it brings something slightly different to it. Good for interest, good for parity. That we can do this, so it's interesting to see rowing experimenting with it.
Yeah, great race. We're in the second quarter of the race, and you can hear the cox. I think that's Florian Koch's voice that you can hear on the international sound. The two Americans, we talked about Caitlin Kainas, the stroke seat. Holly Dratt behind her was at the University of Washington. They have that deck lead, or a canvas if you're in Europe, and the two other women from the American 8s, Catherine Flynn and Grace Joyce. Virginia Cavalier, Catherine Flynn and Grace Joyce from Northfield, University of Wisconsin. Great program they run for the Badgers.
We're right through the 1,000, and the American 8 have certainly had the best of that second 500. You really wonder how deep the Germans are prepared to dig now, given that they're going to race again tomorrow, as to whether they're really going to go to an uncomfortable place to try and get back on even terms with the American 8 now in this difficult third quarter.
This is a really interesting point in the race. Do Germany go for it? I think they would have the capacity in this third quarter. Well, the Americans have too much power in the 6 seats. We've got the new international from the USA, Cedar Cunningham, the 23-year-old. He rode Washington, but not the Huskies. But he came through on his ergometer time. Such a strong guy, and he did so well in the singles trials this year that he's now found himself in the US team.
Well, that was a lovely fly past we just had from the drone along the top of that American crew, and it was really impressive to see the similarity of the blade angles that all the rowers are creating. But at the moment, the Germans have come back in this third quarter. That gap was up to about half a length at the 1,000. I think the German are pushing hard now in this third quarter.
They are pushing hard. At this point, I think if pushed to say who's going to win, I'd say the Germans. I think they were conservative off. Just depends how much they want it, given that these guys are going to be racing tomorrow. But when you're out on the water, Greg, I mean, it is this race, this time, this stroke, that's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've had situations, of course, where you've raced more than once in a regatta, and I think if you find yourself saving something, it's just a bit disappointing, and you're just left wanting and left not knowing. I don't think the Germans are going to want to not know. I think they're going to want to go for it now. You can see it just over a second with 500 to go. It's enough that you can come back in an 8, but both the crews have stepped it up to 38 strokes a minute now, as they'll know they're coming towards the finish line. The Coxes will be picking them up. Taking a look there, you can see, getting good eyes on it, and now this German 8 need to make a move if they are to come through here.
Yeah, Frank Hundling's got Paul Klapperich and Thies Hagemeister, the Olympian, Sonke Cruz and Matthias Schoenerer, Pierre Greiten, of course, bronze medalist in the quad, and Michelle Lebain and Anna Hartel.
Well, you can see how hard they're digging now. 5 metres the gap. The German 8 are still lifting the rate. They're both up to 39 strokes a minute. Here we go, coming in for a final sprint for the last 150.
This is a cracking race. So what has Caitlin Kainas, the 26-year-old stroke woman of the American boat, got left? Germany are pushing that rate up to try and get back a deck behind the Americans. But the American power in the centre of that 8, that's just going to hold them barring accidents. Look at Cedar Cunningham putting it in there.
Well, the Americans are keeping their stroke length. The rate hasn't gone up. It's still 39 strokes a minute as we're coming down towards the line.
It's so close in this historic new event. It is the USA leading. They crossed the line first in the mixed 8s, just ahead of the Germans. They couldn't quite close the gap. What a fantastic race in this new first-time event in the Rowing World Cup, a test event, mixed 8s. And both these crews served us up a fantastic contest, Greg.
They did serve us up a great race. You can see the thumbs up between the crews. Great mutual respect that they're the trailblazers as the Italians come across the line. They're the ones who've got out there at this World Cup race, rowing race in Varese, and taken the first ever mixed 8s competition.
I hope they get medals for that event. I don't know if we're going to cover the medal ceremony, but I think with all that effort and racing tomorrow, even though it is a secondary event for these athletes, I'd love to see them on the medal ceremony. Well, exciting, 6:01, so not quite that pace the American mixed 8 won in the Pan Ams, which was 54.